200 here for every 3 faction war. This is Argent Shelf Redux and Eldar versus Orks. For the blue Orky team, we have Pibb over on the west side as a Warboss, a melee commander that can walk through objects and very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines, and lots and lots of anger. Alongside Aguzyx plays a Kommando, infiltrating commander that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style begins range combat with a twin link shooter, and rounding off the team, Dark Riku as another Warboss. For the red Eldar team, we have Ace of Swords as a Warp Spider Exarch, teleporting commander that fights range combat, great for harassing and capping with some awesome control abilities also. And 2 Warlocks. First up is Polychromatic Doublecorn, also known as Zevargel. And we have Zevargel. These guys leap into melee combat, some powerful spells, both support and offense. Can disrupt like crazy too. This is the Exarch's elite scheme recolored, I believe. Yep, by Zevargel over there. Going to kick off on the west side then. The northern team has a slight advantage getting this VP slightly quicker, though the southern team can generally get to this contested power slightly quicker, though looks like Pibb has not gone for it in this case. Was to contest his VP quickly. War banner going up, really good place to put one on this kind of narrow western lane. Meanwhile, kicking off in the mid, Warboss of Dark Riku getting involved. Good stun bomb from Aguzyx, trapping some Banshees and Warlock in stun. Warlock going straight after some shooter boys, but the sluggers are there to contest him. Here comes the other Warlock of Zevargel. Kommando forcing melee combat and some dire Avengers. Pibb losing his sluggers first engagement. Caught by howling Banshees, I suppose. Nice special attack from the Warp Spider Exarch, and I think the Warboss also goes down. Not a good start over on the west side from Pibb. He may need some support. WTF, he says. Not sure what happened. Sluggers chasing off some Banshees, but they'll be fine. Banshees only losing 1 model with under 200 hit points. Pretty nuts. Orks pushing through then, bashing power even. Here comes the first Shuriken to offer retreat path, he says. Seems like a pretty standard retreat path to me. Just retreated too late. Shooting up the node are some dire Avengers, but the Orks are doing the same thing on this side, but the Shuriken should shut that down. I'm guessing we'll see at least 1 from each player. Eldar left their Shurikens, really helps carry them through tier 1. There's the Immolator Blade doing its thing from Zevargel. Orks got the decap, but they are now forced to retreat. Oh, still some stuff in the field. We have the sluggers and double shooters of Aguzyx still in play. Riku though is off the field, so Aguzyx needs to be careful not to get 2-to-1 and lose a bunch of stuff. Look at this, Warp Spider Exarch decapping the natural VP of the Orks and now decapping a natural wreck point. Aguzyx looks like he's going to come over out. Pibb is asking for a revive. Storm Boy's in play, jumping too far behind the Shuriken, but they can now turn around and I think take it out here. Yes, use your choppers. I don't think even necessary, but it might help against the Banshees. No, flees, because his shooters were too low to stay in the fight, especially with no cover over there. Banshees chasing down the Storm Boys, but did not get a model, so that user choppers was slightly wasted there. I think it's 75 red, is it? Not a huge amount, but Orks do use the red for a lot of stuff. Big shooters on the shooter boys of Aguzyx. Pibb getting some big shooters up, help him control those Banshees. Might want to get some spiky armor going when this Warboss gets back to his feet. Looks like the Commander Knob is going to revive over here, although a little bit dicey with Banshees and double dire Avengers right here. Is the Warboss going to be able to get away? Might want to use his stomp and then run. No, runs. And maybe is okay. Yes. Retreating out is Ace of Swords. Had 2 Orc armies against him. Here comes some more Banshees, this time from Zevargel. Getting a little bit too close to double sluggers there, and Zevargel quite rightly backing away with the rest of his army. Can they come through this channel and go for the power? Disruptor goes off, didn't do a whole lot. Trying to use it at point blank range. There's that crazy leap into combat, knocking down some sluggers, but looks like the Orks are going to push through. Maybe take a look at the power, maybe bash it a bit. Look at this though. Talking about bashing. Eldar Banshees and Shuriken and Dire Avengers working on this power hit. And that is a good place for a Shuriken. Riku will need to go around, I guess, and has Aguzyx alongside. That Shuriken might get caught by sluggers on retreat. Not sure where Riku's sluggers are. Where are they? Oh, they're in retreat here. Look at this. The Warboss of Riku right up against the Eldar HQ. That's Z-Talk's HQ, I think. Harassing some Banshees, keeping them well in their own territory. And you see spiky armor doing its thing as the Banshees try to attack him. Really dangerous for Banshees. Angry Bits also in play. Warlock of Zevargel gets the decap. In fact, gets the full cap on the natural VP of the Orks. These Banshees will be fine, just a bunch of shooters in retreat path. Did drop a model though. Sluggers can't quite get to him. Shuriken still being annoying. How are they going to get this thing out of here safely though? What's going on west side? Looks like it's being taken back by the Eldar. Pibb recovering with those Storm Boys. Did not replace his sluggers. And it's tier 2 for the Eldar players. I think this power was bashed completely at one point maybe. That Warp Spider's really annoying. Taking cover now against the Shooter Boys and exploding models with his dual Death Spinners. Warboss might go for the cap. No, looks like he wants to have a word with this Warp Spider Exarch. Stop shooting me, boys. Oh, just kill him. So annoying. Get close and he teleports out. Some Warbanners mid. Shuriken trying to do some stuff from close range. But sluggers coming in now. Some sneaky sluggers. Aguzyx using hide the boys on them. Getting in there. But not doing a whole lot in the end. Not even getting a model, in fact. What kind of Orks are you? Shooter Boys trying to take him out, but no, did not get a model. The Warlock of Z-Talk caught in a bad fight, but should be fine. Might be able to get through to the power here. Don't see any Shurikens in play on this east side. Oh, Z-Talk did not get a Shuriken. Unless he missed it and I didn't see. Need to get those Shooter Boys shooting at those Banshees, I think. Banshees doing really well for the Eldar in these opening exchanges as we see the Eldar hit tier 2. And surely a Falcon in that central and eastern area. Storm Boys with user choppers trying to take out the Shuriken. Can you get another one? Not quite. Now fighting some Banshees, but that's a bad fight for the Storm Boys after taking all of those attacks. Might lose them here and does lose them. Big blow for Pibb. A risky jump. He went for it, but when he saw the Banshees there, you'd think he'd get out of there a little bit quicker. Was really going for that Shuriken kill. Falcon on the way for Ace of Swords. Pibb might need some assistance on the west side. Haven't seen him ask for it yet. That Warp Spider Exarch is now level 3. No War Gear yet. Did not need Entangling Web, I guess. Could get that later on for Knobs. Riku's Warboss level 2 up to 12, 16 hit points with that spiky armor and some good health regen too. Can you get a model on retreat? Smack. Yes, he can. Maybe another? Nope. Uh-oh. Howling Banshees here. Don't want to fight him because of that spiky armor, I think. So they're just running off to do something else annoying. Sink kill. There you go. Nice and quick. Just a massive axe to your forehead. Now in amongst the Warlock. Uh-oh. Immolator on the blob of Shooter Boys and the Warlock is fine. Double cap for the Orks here. Western side is uncapped. So Eldar will probably take that and get the 2-1 once they get their natural back too. Here's that Falcon. Pibb will need tank busters or something. I think tank busters into a webway would be pretty good on this west side. We'll see what he goes for. Polychromatic Doublecorn, also on the Z-Talk, getting some Dark Creepers onto the field, which is a bit of a weird choice. Maybe he wants that pinning fire on demand suppression or something. Maybe he just really expects Knobs. Here's the Falcon of Zevargel. helping to bash this power. They've put a lot of pressure on this, able to quickly respond to the Orks going off the field and getting at that power. Contested power now being shot up by Ace of Swords. Dire Avengers, he's happy to sit and defend this VP for now, having completely bashed the power again. With a Shuriken and a Falcon and Banshee, it's going to be really tough for Pibb to go after him. But look, does get tank busters into a weird boy. Those are the right choices, I think. Tank busters do so much anti-vehicle damage, especially if you can get that barrage off. This guy is down. They're going to take down this Falcon, which is going to be a pretty good deal for the Orks. That could be a big moment. What's going on over here? Some sticks maybe would be pretty good for Pibb as well. Not sure how much stick bombers cost, but I don't think they're more than 45 power. But might help him get a stun on that Falcon and also scare the Shuriken. Here's that weird boy. Really cool sub-commander for Orks. Has that zap go off. There you see it. That will jump from unit to unit, doing damage each time it jumps. I think it does 50 damage each time it jumps. Look at this. War Truck, no doubt, has tank busters inside from Aguzyx. Is chasing down the Falcon, almost getting it. 16 hit points on this guy. Now down to 14. Rear armor hits from the War Truck, actually taking hit points off it. He's going to chase it here. If they get both Falcons down really quickly, that could be a massive deal. Uh-oh, looks like the War Truck goes down though, and the Falcon lives with 11 hit points. That could be massive. Weird Boy also starts with that Warp Vomit thing, which is pretty awesome. Nice basic attack with Plasma Cannon damage also. Look at this though, Eldar pushing through the mid, decapping stuff. They've put a lot of pressure on this wreck point as well, and decapping wreck points can be a big deal. Not all about power bashes, especially in a 3v3 where each player can contribute to rebuilding the power, and it's not quite as taxing as it is in a 1v1 all the time. But obviously pretty damn helpful. Here's some sluggers with a Knob Leader and burners fully upgraded, with the support of a War Truck, always really massive threat. Bunch of Orks in retreat path of these Eldar, but none of them melee units. There's a Warp Vomit. You saw a heal go off there. I believe that was channeling runes. Yes, it was. That's from Zevargel. His Warlock getting knocked all over the gaff and needs to run away. Orks have got to push through to this power right here, surely. This is Pibb's army, and he does not. He wants to defend his west side. Falcon back in play, fully repaired. Fire Dragons on the way for Zevargel. See how those guys pan out. Tier 3 for Pibb. Good time to go tier 3 if he can keep the power income up. Plus 44 is not bad. Has a full gen farm over here. Orks running away from Banshees was not a good approach for Pibb. Trying to approach with that big shot blocker in a way was a bit awkward. Maybe should have pulled back to the power and gone through the more standard approach there. 259, 418. Approach play can be tricky against Eldar. They can change positions so quickly. Even their setup teams are relatively quick. War Truck taking some rear armor hits from Fire Dragons, but it's alive for now. But for how long? Here comes some Banshees with a heavy melee. Executioner Spear on rear armor, trying to take it down. Suppressed though by some shooter boys, and the War Truck lives. There's the immolator going off. Some good usage of that. Did they both get it? I think they did. Yeah. Yeah, this guy's a warp throw as well, Zevargel. Seer Council on the way for Zevargel. These sluggers in a pretty dicey place. Warlock doing quite a lot of damage to them with that immolator. Does damage over time after it hits also, I believe. You need to go invisible, Mr. Kommando. Oh, look at this. He's got Mega Boom Kit and Kaboom. What's this? Falcon being annoying to tank busters. Warlock goes down. That was Zevargel. Eldar still have this west side though, but it looks like it's clear for Pibb to cap. And with those tank busters and that weird boy is contesting this side pretty well right now. Tank buster barrage. Nice try, but not quite hitting that Falcon. Down goes the Warp Spitter Exarch. This Warlock is going to get some XP for this revive, maybe, if he lives. Holy crap, that's a lot of DPS suddenly from those shooter boys. 207, 418. Tier 3 for everyone now, apart from Zevargel. Seer Council are on the field for Z-Talk, and he still has that channeling runes to support them, of course. Power melee squad that can leap into combat, can really do some damage, and a fair amount of hit points that they are infantry armor, regular infantry armor. There's that dead Warp Spitter Exarch, that must have been really satisfying. But here comes the Warlock to go and revive him, which might level Z-Talk, we'll see. Orks still very much in this. 2-to-1 cap for them, 207 to 397 on the VPs. And now everyone's going tier 3, including Zevargel. Looted tank on the way for Pibb. Good choice on that west side. Look at those basic attacks from the weird boy. But oh, that's an Eldritch. And Pibb has not seen it. That's devastating. Loses his tank busters and loses the weird boy as well. That nuke might have changed the game considerably. Really good nuke that Pibb just didn't see. Wasn't set up in any way by Ace. If he retreated as soon as he saw it, he would have lost ground, but I think would have preserved pretty much all of those units. This Warboss is going down, yes. Power Claw is up for Riku there. Use your choppers on some slugger boys. A really scary sight to see them charging through the lines there. Orks continuing to do pretty well in the mid. Really need to put some pressure on this VP though, or Aguzyx needs to come over and help out Pibb, because he just took some massive losses. The Mega Boom Shot, or whatever it's called, of the looted tank just hit terrain there, which is unfortunate. And now this Falcon has an energy field, so good luck killing it. Sluggers need to run away. Trying to chase down these Dark Creepers. It's just a Knob Leader left. I believe he has around 65 DPS, power melee all by himself. And here's the War Truck to support them with reinforcements so they can stay in play. Orks, you need to cap that VP, fellas. Pibb trying to recover some sluggers over there. Help out his looted tank. City Council and Howling Banshees going after some sluggers here. Special attacks galore. Nice grenade on the shooter boys. There is the channeling runes on the Seer Council, an incredibly powerful heal. But as you can see, it locks the Warlock in place, but you saw how much it healed those Seer Council models there. That was pretty crazy. Fire Dragon still in play. Unable to catch the War Truck though, I think. Good little push from the Orks. But need to get out safely. Aguzyx is trying desperately to keep these shooter boys in play, but they are being chopped up pretty badly by the Seer Council, and he decides to get them out of there. Here's Riku though, piling out of the War Truck. Whole bunch of piercing damage on the Seer Council. They do have that 15% range damage resistance going on though, which they impart to nearby allied units too. Ace though with the flank inwards. War Truck's going to go down. Rear armor hits from the Falcon. Down it goes. On Riku's stuff in a flash there. 2-to-1 cap for the Eldar. Pibb with further losses. Looks like he lost his looted tank at some point. There's the remains of it. And we have a Bright Lance, which I'm sure had something to do with it here. Flash gets on the way for Pibb, but he seriously needs help. Kommando is called in by Aguzyx, getting their Knob Leader immediately, and he is a rocket launcher. These guys can do some stuff here. They have Love the Daka, which is really good disruption, and a burner bomb also, not to mention the ability to infiltrate and fire rockets and stuff. There's the Love the Daka, good for setting up nukes or just their own burner bomb. There's pinning fire and a grenade though. Crack! Holy crap, that's a good grenade. What's this? Dark Creepers. You just saw the pinning fire from them. Z-Talk's Warlock being annoying. More power bashing on this east side. Seeing lots of power harass on both sides of the map, and you can see the struggle to get tier 3 units out for the Orc players. Dark Riku does have a looted tank on the way, also has a nuke to use, as does Aguzyx, and that could be a big deal. Kommando with his rocket launcher trying to go after the Falcon, but Banshees pile out and deal with him. Double cap now for the Eldar. And these shooter boys in trouble trying to finish this cap here. And they do, but choppy from the Banshees. Ouch. Gonna go down, are they? Yes, they are. Here comes the Warboss. Incredibly pissed off right now. Goes after the Seer Council. Their range damage resistance doesn't help them against a Power Claw. Banshees also get the hell out of there. And they're generally okay. Don't see any webway gates around. I think there was one over on this west side at one point, I seem to recall, but I could be making it up. Avatar of Cain on the field for Zevargel. Super unit for Eldar. Awesome in combat, also imparts some powerful buffs, suppression immunity, and I think a damage buff or something. Level 3 Warboss for Riku. What have we got on the Commandos? Level 5, but down. Warboss of Pibb, level 3. Oh, look at this. He's got the enhanced custom shooter. Did not notice that. Also, heavy armor and the boss pole. But he's struggling to contest this west side. He needs some help from Aguzyx, but Aguzyx has not been over there in a while. 2-to-1 cap. Orks focusing on trying to take that central VP. That's a warp throw, but the Wailing Doom was not timed correctly. Not quite what was intended. Looted tank getting some shots here. Fire Dragon's caught by Sluggers. Sluggers pretty low on hit points though. There is Ard Boys on the Warboss, giving some defensive bonuses. Smacking a Dire Avenger into little pieces each hit. But here come the Seer Council. Look at all those leaps stacking up on the single entity. That is really powerful. 2-to-1 still for Eldar. I guess they can't afford to go over to that west side. If Aguzyx goes over there, Eldar push through the middle. Catch-22 situation. Look at that decap from the Commandos. Nicely done by Aguzyx. D-cannon is in play. Shuriken covering the eastern approach. 2 of them, in fact. Falcon of Ace. Just about to lose the shield, maybe. But there is a washout from the Banshees. Don't think it affects the tank buses. Yeah. Their rocket launchers must not have a cooldown. So the suppression not affecting their fire rate. There are various things involved with weapons shooting. Cooldown is just one of them, so some units have 0 cooldown and are therefore not bothered by suppression in terms of shooting stuff. 42 to 355. Some Commandos on this west side trying to cap, and they get the cap. 2-to-1 for the Orks. Double looted tanks for Dark Riku. Every single Eldar player though has an avatar right now. Smack. Warboss with Ard Boys trying to stay in play as long as he can, but might need to retreat out now. There we go. It's Riku on the west side. Pibb down to a single shooter boy squad though. What is this? Eldar on the Orc VP. There's a lot of stuff here to defend though. Should be okay. In fact, these Fire Dragons are in a bad place. And go down. Sluggers leveling to 3. Where are these avatars at? Here's one of them. Riku trying desperately to cap this side, but the avatar's going to take him down with the help of some firepower. Looted tank, there's an Eldritch. Not sure whose that was. I'm guessing Z-Talk by the look of the red of each player. Not seen any rocks dropped, which is surprising. There's a Wailing Doom. Bad news for the Orks. Orks typically have very low foot speed. There's another Eldritch on retreating Sluggers. Does it finish them off? No, they live. But some Eldar might finish them off. They get away with around 30 hit points. 16 to 339. Looks like this is a victory for the Eldar in this faction war here. They will go ahead and fight someone else. Pibb down to 0 units now. That Eldritch from Ace, I mean, he had a bad start but recovered pretty well in tier 2, and then that Eldritch put him seriously on the back foot, and he didn't get a whole lot of help when he needed it. And the Orks are beaten by the Eldar. Let's look at the heroes end of the game. Level 4 Warboss for Pibb, level 5 Kommando for Aguzyx, and level 3 Warboss for Riku. We do see Entangling Web at the end for Ace of Swords, Enhanced Warp Generator, and Improved Target is on this level 6 Warp Sword Exarch, level 9 Warlock for Z-Talk, holy crap, and a level 4 Warlock for Zevargel. Next up for the Eldar will be either Space Marines or Ordo Malleus. It's a lot easier to find Space Marine players, so we'll see how it goes. I would like to get Ordo Malleus into another faction war against the Eldar. I think that could be pretty fun, but we'll see what players I can find around. And big thanks to the players here for taking part, and thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.